We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. By the time you hear this, it will be Wednesday. We're recording this, a TikTok live on Tuesday night. We're going to get a lot of people coming in, and we're going to get a lot of people talking. We'll have regular panelists that come on a regular basis, but we really like to hear from the people who are in the audience. It's real easy to find me talking ad nauseum on some of these podcasts, and that isn't really the point of doing these lives. This is a chance where other people get to talk, get some different insights, get some different perspectives. You always learn something. I always learn something when I do these lives, so I always look forward to it quite a bit. We'll have some of the normal folks coming in. Let's see if they're here yet. Hold on. Okay, we've got TJ the plumber. He's going to pop up here in a moment. And TJ was on the podcast recently, but he's also a moderator for these lives. I checked in with TJ earlier today and said, "You up for a live?" And he said, "Yeah." He always says yeah, but you have a little different situation than me. You have to get up early because you work, and the only times I have to get up early is if I'm doing daycare for my grandson, and I don't have to do that tomorrow.
Well, I make it work. Don't worry about that. Hey, it's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
So Rebecca and I went and got tacos because it's Taco Tuesday, and Donald Trump was a taco out in the Pacific Asia. So
he was a confused taco.
He was
that month. You know. The thing about it is we heard about this second annual checkup, and the Republicans and the administration tried to make, well, it's no big deal. It's just his annual checkup. Weird thing is, it was the second annual checkup of the year. So people were asking questions and stuff, and then people forgot about it because of all the other fucked up shit that Donald Trump is doing. It kind of drifted in the back, and nobody was thinking about it until, of course, Donald Trump opened his mouth again. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I got an MRI. And, oh, yeah, I took a cognitive test." Well, if you know anything about regular checkups, you don't have to get an MRI. You only get an MRI if there's some issue, some problem that they have to look into and see what might be causing it. So clearly Donald Trump has many problems, but it sounds like he has a physical problem. And I'm thankful for that today with Thanksgiving coming up. And the other thing, the cognitive test, he was talking about this IQ test he took. And the way he described it, naming animals and drawing clocks, that was a Montreal cognitive assessment. And I took the time to pull that up online. About the easiest motherfucking thing you can do as long as you have a reasonable mind. But apparently Donald Trump thought it was tough and thought AOC and Jasmine couldn't pass that motherfucker. I think Jasmine and AOC individually or together could kick his ass, not only in the test, but physically.
Well, it's hilarious that he doesn't know the difference between a cognitive test and an IQ test. Vastly different fucking things.
Well, when you have a low IQ, it's not surprising that you wouldn't know.
Right.
And Donald Trump, you always hear Donald Trump has a high IQ. Well, yeah, that's what Donald Trump probably fucking said, but he's a pathological liar too, so he says a lot of shit. Right. I'm going to pull Rebecca up here, and I'm going to, Rebecca.
Hey, Mike.
Is TJ. Hey, Rebecca, how you doing? How you feeling?
Good.
Last time I talked to TJ, you were going through some things.
Yeah, I had a migraine. I'm good now, thanks.
Okay, good.
But I know what a giraffe is, and I know what an elephant is, so I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the test questions there, and I'm going, wow, my 5-year-old granddaughter could easily pass this. And Donald Trump is crowing about it like he fucking did something. He didn't. I'm going to pull one more person up here, only because we know him, and I'm sure he's got some insights that we'll want to talk about. I'm talking, of course, of Trucker T. Welcome to the live Trucker T and the Rational Boomer podcast. What's up with you? One of the reasons I'm glad I did this live, because I'm just getting tired of the bullshit. Just saying, I'm getting tired of the bullshit. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really tired of it. I will tell you, though, I did struggle with the first part of that test, though, with the ABC and then the 1, 2, 3. I struggled a little bit.
You weren't sure what an elephant was or what a giraffe was?
No, the one right above
Was that the Jackson 5 question?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's bothering me. What's really bothering me now, I think we're up to it's either 51 or 57 people that were shot over the, over there. I'm trying to use the proper words.
Yeah, there was 57.
57, yeah. And there's no information. There's no names. There's nothing except for what he says. And now he's making making the military sign these NDAs. Right after he got rid of all the military lawyers and top generals. This is bad, Mike.
Yeah. Well, it's really bad. It's really bad. And I know you're being cautious, and I appreciate that. But I'm feeling bulletproof these days because when TikTok changed the guidelines, I thought 2 days at max I'm going to be around here. I've said the same old shit that I've always said, and I haven't even got any kind of warning. So I feel like. Maybe I've got some of that Donald Trump immunity with TikTok. I can do fucking anything. So what Trucker was talking about was the boats that Donald Trump and his Department of Defense were blowing up in the ocean. And I think you were talking about 57 people that are unalived. He did 4 yesterday, today or yesterday.
Yeah,
it's getting. Yeah, it's getting out of hand. There's a total of 14 boats. The president of Colombia is calling him a murderer because he knows that there were some people that weren't illegal or weren't traffickers. So this is a big deal. And Trucker, you can be of help because you were in the military, that we do have people quitting, right? We have major level people in the military quitting because they're just seeing how bad this really is.
Yeah, you just had one of the top just dropped out. I guess they had a closed door meeting and he and Hegseth couldn't come to terms on the way things are going over there. And he was asked to basically retire. And he was like, not a problem, I'm out. Because he's one of the ones, Mike, that knows that when this shit is over with, there's going to be consequences, right? So he wants to be on the right side of history on this one, and that's why he quit. I don't blame him because I would have also.
So the last couple that he blew up was closer to Venezuela than the others had been. Do you think this is a slow walk up to ultimately ending up stepping into or dropping missiles into Venezuela? He seems set on doing that for fucking some reason.
Well, don't forget, we're already in Venezuela, right? They caught, I think it was 2 or 3 CIA agents
right.
over there. Yeah, we're in.
You're right.
We're in there. So it's not a matter of if or when. We're there. Right? It's a matter of what happens next. That's the biggest point. What are they going to do now, right? This last strike that he did had some Mexico implications because one of the ones that he shot, they're trying to get him to the Mexican Navy to come pick him up. So this thing is getting out of control now.
Yeah, there was one survivor in the water. I don't know if they got him or not, or if he drowned. I don't know, but there was one survivor in the water, right?
Yeah, that's the one that the Mexican Navy was supposed to pick up. But
Let's talk to that motherfucker. We need to talk to that person.
Well, don't forget, there was 2 other ones that they sent back. I think it was last week.
They've got them in custody somewhere that we're never going to find them, I'm sure.
No, they got released.
Yeah, they got released. Yeah, they sent them back.
Back to their own countries, yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk to them too.
You know, I want to see what you guys think about this. I kind of go off in weird directions when I'm thinking about this stuff. Now Donald Trump is talking about going into Venezuela, as we mentioned. But initially, he was talking about doing these same things in Mexico. He was going to go into Mexico. He was going to bomb the cartel. He was going to do this. He was going to do all these things. And then all of a sudden, we're not talking about Mexico. And now we switched it to another country full of brown people, Hispanic type people, Venezuela. Do you think somebody said, Donnie, you better not fuck with Mexico? That's a little crazy. Do you think that's what it was and he just found another spot to go after?
Yeah, he found out that Claudia Sheinbaum got bigger balls than he does.
Oh yeah, she'll fuck him up, no doubt.
and he backed up out of there real fast. Now, I don't know if you saw the videos of Venezuela when they were training their troops or civilians, rather.
No, I
I
didn't.
watched it. I watched the video.
Yeah, that's why he went over to Venezuela, because they had like somebody's grandmother with a pew pew running, around the fence. They had somebody's granddad running with one training. There's no there, right? Mexico
Yeah.
is different because they can defend themselves. Venezuela can't defend themselves.
People keep talking about these huge oil reserves in Venezuela. Do you think that's part of it?
Well, they've been talking about oil reserves everywhere. I mean, it could be, right? We don't know what this goofy dude's. I think it's more of the latter. He just wants to mess with brown people. That's just what I think. But,
Well, he's very transactional. If he was able to go in and take over Venezuela, he could get some of our oil companies here in the States a lot of product for probably pretty cheap. And of course, if that were to happen, Donald Trump would get his traditional taste of what it is. Because remember, it's all about grift and money for Donald Trump. Everything he's ever done has to put money in his pocket before he does it.
you mean like 800 million in crypto, allegedly?
Yeah.
And they've got rare minerals over there also. Don't forget about that over in Venezuela that they're looking
True.
at as well. So it could be a myriad of things. He could want the oil, he could want the minerals, or he could just want to fuck with brown people. We don't know. But when was the last somebody said that they want some good old Colombian powder? You know what I mean? I'm not Colombian,
Yeah.
but Venezuelan powder. It doesn't come from there. And I heard something today. Lindsey Graham said something that was interesting. He said, why would we continue to let them stage in Venezuela? So they've got something going on. I guess they're thinking that Venezuela is a stage port for the cartels. But I don't know. We wouldn't know because they're not releasing any details.
Well, here's the one thing we do
Trucker,
know for sure. Here's the one thing we do know for sure. Whatever Donald Trump does, he will fuck it up. So I'm guessing this is going to blow up in his face.
I'm sure it's going to blow up in his face. It already is. Like while he's over there doing that and getting walked around by the Malaysian president, whatever that Japan president, the female,
Yeah.
by his hand, he's got senators here now blocking his Brazilian 50% tariff deal. So
Right.
I can't wait for him to hear about that one and throw ketchup on the wall.
TJ, you had something?
Well, I
TJ.
was just going to correct Trucker. I was just going to correct Trucker
Okay.
on something he said. Donald Trump does not have crypto. He has grifto. So from now on,
Yeah.
when you refer to Donald Trump and his investments, it's
Well, I was mainly referring to his son, but I didn't want to call him out because everybody say you have to leave the kids alone. But this
Oh,
fucker's
fuck that.
19 years. Yeah, he's 19 years
no.
old.
Fuck that.
With, and I don't know if it's true or not, but what do you guys think about
my
it?
ass. Barron Trump gained $200 million in personal assets in 10 months. That's absolute bullshit. Fuck
Right.
him and his kids.
Tell me how you really feel, TJ.
Well, I tell you what, his 19-year-old son made $200 in crypto, and in my last live, I made $6. So fuck Barron Trump. Anyway,
Let Barron take that money and run and tell his dad go fuck
Yeah.
himself. That'd be fucking glorious.
yeah, no shit.
Do you think it's true about his Brazilian boyfriend?
God, I hope so.
That'd be
I hope so.
awesome. Me too.
That would be hilarious. It would be hilarious. We got to get some people to track that down and get the real info on that. Not that I care. I mean, if he happens to be gay, that's fine. I'm good with that. But it would make everybody else in the Republican Party fucking crazy. Although, sounds like 90% of them are closeted. So who knows? Maybe it'd just be.
It would be great if Barron comes out and just posts his Grinder account so everybody can see it. Like, I'm proud of that.
Yeah, no shit.
Hold on.
all right.
Someone in the chat said they're blowing up Venezuelan boats because they cut off Don Jr.'s coke supply.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to pull somebody up here that's waiting to talk, and we want to hear from some of the other folks out there. And this person looks like he may not be showing up, so I'm going to take somebody else. We'll take Tisha. We'll see if Tisha shows up. I never know if it's TikTok or the listeners, but hey, Tisha, how you doing? What's on your mind?
All right. You know what's on my mind? I don't think
What's that?
he's going to build a ballroom at all. I think he's going to take the money and he's going to run. There's no way that those businesses would have gave him that amount of money. And the stockholders of those businesses say, wait a minute, what we getting out the deal? What we getting? 300 million just for the sake of giving him money? No, some flim-flamming is going on, and I don't think he's going to build anything. I think he's going to take the money and run.
You know what, Tisha, you may be right about that, and I've thought about that too because of the way this thing is coming together. It seems to be put together very quickly. There really is no sense of coordination with it. They're talking about a $300 million budget for a 90,000 square foot ballroom, which is bigger than the White House. That makes no sense. And if you break it down to cost per square foot, that's outrageous as far as pricing. I think this is probably a scam. I'd be surprised if we see this get built.
Regardless, even if he builds it, he's not going to pay the contractor, so he's taking the money anyway.
This is a flim plan. He's known for it. He does a three-card Molly all the time. Do you know what three-card Molly is?
I do.
He does it all the time. He does it all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not going to
For
get
those-
built. I really don't believe it.
For those people who don't know what three-card Monte is, you see it in New York City a lot, and a guy sets up a card table or whatever. He has three cards kind of bent, and you got to pick out the card after he mixes them up, and you never win because it's fixed, it's rigged. And that's how Donald Trump does business. Everything is fucking rigged.
I don't think it's
Tisha,
happening, guys.
No, I think you may be right about that. I mean, it could go either way, really. But I've thought about that too. I mean, that's typical Donald Trump. Two things to be sure: he'll fuck it up, or he'll rob you, or a combination thereof. And that may be the case with this ballroom. Wow, wouldn't that be hilarious? You know, it's ironic. One of those people, one of those companies that are alleged to have donated to this ballroom was a local company here in Minnesota, Target, which doesn't make me any happier with Target. But after giving him money for this ballroom, Target is in the process of laying off 1,800 people. 1,800 people. In fact, a couple people I know that work at Target just got laid off. So they got money for a fucked up ballroom, but they can't continue to pay their employees.
Yeah, and here's the other thing that I think, Rational Boomer, is that I think when he leaves, he's going to run with the money. The Democrats is going to seek out all of those particular companies and make them pay it. If they can't find him, they're going to make those companies pay for it because they had no business doing it.
No, I think you're right about that. I mean, that's what some of these people are forgetting. When this is all said and done, Donald Trump isn't in power anymore. They're clearly going to go after him. But if he's not with us any longer, they're still going to find people who are accountable. All these people like Stephen Miller, like Pete Hegseth, like Pam Bondi, like some of the people lower on the totem pole. They're all going to be investigated. They're all going to be prosecuted. And it's going to be a long process prosecuting all these motherfuckers.
Yep. I think they already got the information. I just think as soon as they're going to whip it out and say, okay, y'all going to jail. But those companies that did this with him, they are going to pay through the roof if they can't find that money. If they can't find that money, they're going to pay.
Well, Donald Trump goes through money pretty quickly. He either hides it or he spends it wildly. So if he's got $300 million in his pocket, it's not going to be there long. And then on top of it, he wants to somehow coerce the DOJ to pay him $230 million because how he was treated so poorly when he was prosecuted and investigated for shit he actually did.
Well, isn't that an odd number? Isn't that the same amount of money he owes New York?
Yeah, it may be. It may be because he owed like 400 million, and then they were going to cut it back, and he's trying to get that overturned now. Just say it's a wash and he's innocent. That's not going to happen. It is a very specific number, and the ironic thing is Donald Trump was talking about cutting taxes and all that sort of stuff. If he sues the DOJ and the DOJ pays him $230 million, where's that coming from? From fucking taxes. So he's contradicting himself all the fucking time.
Well, he must get to lay off a lot of FBI agents and lawyers and everything else in order to get that money.
Well, at this point, he might as well. He might as well lay them off because they ain't doing shit for us. They're all working with ICE. It's ridiculous. Tisha, where do you live? What part of the
I
country?
live in Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
You have the governor there. He's not going to run for president. What's his name?
Yeah, Westmore.
Wes Moore. That's right. Good guy. I kind of wish he was running for president, but you're lucky to have him there. Tisha, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. You're welcome anytime. Please stop back.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tisha. Tisha has a good thought. What do you guys think about the idea of Donald Trump not actually building the ballroom and just somehow trying to scam the money and blow town when he's forced to do that?
Yeah, I 100% thought about that. That it was just
Have
going to
you?
be a big gaping hole on the east wing, and then there was. And my thought was it was always going to be some sort of an excuse why it didn't get delayed, because they keep upping the price. I heard him say it could be upwards of $350 million now. So they keep
Yeah.
making these changes, and it's never going to get built. That's just what I think.
Well, no, but that's the point, though. They're gonna build it, but it's gonna be built half-assed. And Donald Trump, he's saying it's costing $350 million. It's only gonna cost like $80 million, and he's gonna steal the rest of the money.
I bet you're right.
He's not.
You know what I mean?
He's not going to pay
That-
the contractors anyway.
And he's not gonna pay the contractors.
He wants that ballroom because it's going to be big, beautiful, glorious, gold-plated freaking crap. Like that's all he wants. His status symbol that he did. Like he wants that.
Well,
Right, but it's not gonna cost $350 million. That's ridiculous.
Right.
There's
Well-
no way.
Well, check this out, TJ. He also said that he wants to reshape or redo the bunker that's underneath, right? Because that hasn't been touched since whenever it was built. So he's trying to throw all that in there. I did hear a congressman though on TV, and the sentiment is, hey, when the Democrats get back in power, to bulldoze that thing and rebuild the East Wing. He says, no, let's not do that. He said, why don't we just name it the Barack Obama Ballroom, and that'll be even better. And I laughed. I thought that would be
Well,
under his
no.
skin.
Yeah, but Trucker, you got to remember something. Even if he's going to redo the bunker, those ornamental pieces from Home Depot are like $59.99, and the gold spray paint's $13.
Well,
So,
that was
I'm just telling you.
that was during Biden's presidency. Now that shit costs $1,000 a can.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to bring somebody else up here, somebody we all know. I'm absolutely certain she'll have some thoughts. Oliver's mom, welcome. What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm thinking he's going to get the thing built, and then in the next administration, they're just going to take it and turn it back into offices. Because that's what they need. They're getting rid of all the offices for all of the first ladies. All of her offices were in the East Wing. I mean, not that Melania uses them, but I'm sure future first ladies would want to have office space.
I would imagine, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about that room is supposed to be able to hold 5 people. And, that might be an overstatement, but we still don't need anything that big. We don't need anything that big. They could take the square footage that they're going to have hopefully when he's done, there'll be something there. And then take that and break it in half and put the offices back in the other half, have half of it be some sort of a room where we can host whatever big events that we're not putting them in tents outside, which is what he's concerned about.
Yeah, and did you see the tents? Did you see how nice they were?
Oh, I know. They're great tents. I mean, you put the sides on them, you get the great big heaters. I mean, people have been having weddings and events in them for years, all over the country. It's not just the White House that's been using them. Everybody uses them.
So what do you think happens if a Big Mac does its job and Donald Trump isn't at issue anymore? Do they stop the construction depending on how far along they are or if they're even started? Do they stop that whole thing? Do they change it? What do they do? I mean, J.D. Vance, if he's the president at the time, he may want to do something too, but I'd be surprised if he wanted to continue to build the ballroom because there's all kinds of backlash that's going to come from that after these fucks are out of power.
I don't think J.D. Vance gives a flying fuck about a gold ballroom that holds 5,000 people.
No. And I think what should happen, and this is just my opinion, is that something should be put back there that goes back to the integrity of the building, the White House as it is, something that's going to be historically correct being built next to it. I mean, we don't have the actual anything anymore, but the way historical societies work is they want the exterior of a building that's a historical landmark to be historical, to look like the rest of the buildings. And, I hope at some point we get to that point and then we use it as something practical in the future.
Well, commenter fraud-led McDonald suggests JD will build a sofa warehouse. And I think that's an interesting idea. That's distinctly a possibility.
Right. And like Trisha said, that when you take the two amounts of money, the money for the ballroom and then the money he wants from the DOJ, that does pretty close add up to what he owes as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They owe her quite a bit of money. And I think that's, about between that and what he owes New York, that's that money right there. That's where that money, he's looking to come up with, so he doesn't personally have to dish out that money. That money's got to come from somewhere that's not his actual pocket. And, that might be what he's thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I'm gonna pull somebody else up too. We're getting a lot of people coming through, and I want to make sure we get a lot of folks in. This person is called Mum. Mum, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm. Have you seen the list of donors?
We have, yeah.
Why would Lockheed Martin donate for a ballroom? And all those
any of them.
People,
Why
what is
why
it-
would Amazon? Why would Target?
it's not for the ballroom, it's for favors.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
what would the dictator need in order to protect himself from being overtaken? A better bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if he's locked down in a bunker and the world is going on, I'm cool with that. Just keep him locked off from the rest of the world. Donald Trump's a coward. He's going to get out of the fucking country if he has to.
Well,
if
he
he's
was in the
thinking
bunker
he's at
during the
risk.
George Floyd. Remember?
Yeah. I think he goes in the bunker when there's a fucking storm. You big pansy ass bitch.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's what his trip over to China and Japan and all that all over that side of the world is about. Is Russia, Putin and him aren't getting along anymore. He really can't go there. He's looking for a new home maybe to where he can go after
They-
all this is done.
They say that that's what the 20 billion to Argentina is for, so they'd have some place to run.
Oh, that one too. Yeah, forgot about that one.
Well, and now it's 40 billion. So, but there is a caveat to his 40 billion. His buddy, who is the president, who's fucked up the country, he's giving the money but only if his guy wins. And his guy doesn't look like he has a great chance of winning. So Donald Trump will get all this pub. His guy will lose, and then he'll back out of it probably.
Yeah.
Well, Mom, I thank you for coming on. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome.
Feel free to stop back anytime.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, when we're talking about, she makes a good point about him running or going elsewhere, because that's kind of the standard procedure for a narcissist. They ride real high for a while. They got everybody buffaloed and they're doing real well. Then they hit the top of the curve and they start heading down. Slowly but surely, things become unmanageable because there's too many lies, too many failures, too much bullshit, and they start their spiral. And when they crash, the next step for most narcissists is to bolt, to get the fuck out of there, because they can't distract or dissuade people thinking what's really true, and they will just leave and go away. I don't know that Donald Trump will get that opportunity because he may not make it that long. But a boy can hope, a boy can hope. Let's pull up another person from the audience. Faithfully, how are you
Hey.
doing? What's on your mind?
I ran across some information today that was quite interesting about his trips that he's been making.
Okay.
They've all been to countries where they're mining a lot of the minerals that are needed for the chips and the
Right.
technology. And China right now has always been the higher producer of it because the refining of the minerals is very toxic. And China has just been doing it. And so Trump is in this like head to head with China, wanting to have control. And that's the basis behind this whole trade thing, is that China is holding that mineral that we need over Trump's head. So Trump is in a race to acquire mineral deals with all these other countries.
You know why he's in a race to do this? Because once again, it was Donald Trump who fucked up. Prior to Donald Trump coming into office, all those rare earth minerals, we were getting 90% of it from China. But then when he started with the tariffs and fucking with China, they said, we're not sending you anymore. So now he's got to cover his ass because you do need the rare earth minerals. And he's going all over the place, whether it be Iceland or wherever he's getting them from, Venezuela or Argentina. He's trying to find a place to get all of this rare earth minerals that they need, that they already had from China before Donald Trump fucked it up. So now we're hearing about Donald Trump. I heard just he's going to meet with Xi, and he's got a framework of a deal, which is a lot like a concept of a plan, which means nothing. The ironic thing about this framework of a deal with China, I thought we had a deal in May when he said the deal is done, everything's great. So you can't believe anything Donald Trump said. He's typically lying. It's always bullshit. And I don't think people like China or even South Korea want to deal with this motherfucker. They can't enter into a negotiation because he doesn't follow up with what he promises.
Well, the ironic thing about it is that China has been doing this for a long time. They're years and years and years ahead of us. And even if
Right.
he makes these trade deals, it will take us forever to ever catch up on that, on being able to even have a stronghold or even a equal field with China. So I just find that a little interesting today. It was something that I wasn't aware of.
You know, one of the things he's doing too over in South Korea, he's on his knees begging South Korea to come back after we had that fiasco with the Hyundai plant in Georgia and the Karen who called ICE on them. They come in, they haul them out of there, put them in detention camps until the South Korean government comes and picks them up in their own planes and brings them back. At that point, they decided, yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to put our people at risk. And somebody asked Donald Trump about it after this happened, and Donald Trump said, well, they should have had the right visas. Okay, Donnie, you don't give a shit. Then when he finally realized how bad this was, how many hundreds of millions of dollars he cost this country and the state of Georgia, somebody asked him about it recently as he was going over to South Korea, and he says, yeah, I wasn't for that. I didn't like that idea. Well, you're the president, motherfucker. Stop it. Fix it. Do something. But he's not capable of doing it, so he's going over there and on bended knee to South Korea to get them to come back. Georgia's governor has been there 4 or 5 times in the last 3 months begging them to come back, and they ain't, and I don't blame them.
Well, he is dealing with a very new prime minister. She's only been a week, a little over a week. So
You're talking about the Japanese prime minister.
yes.
She's the Japanese, and that's the one he was walking around with, and he seemed to glitch out and get lost and not know where he's going. The Japanese prime minister had to grab him by the sleeve and drag him the proper way. If that had happened to Joe Biden, people would be freaking out. Donald Trump is glitching out in fucking South Korea, and nobody cares.
Well, the other thing that was scary about that too is that she does idolize his style.
Yeah, she's far right.
Yeah, she's far right, and so she idolizes his style on military strength. So, I think it's something that we really need to watch closely. But hey, thank you for allowing me to come up. I always listen to you and totally enjoy it. You're super good at this. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime. That's
Hey, thank
faithfully.
you.
Thank you. The rest of you on the panel, have you noticed that with the cognitive test he claimed to take, and then he wanted to go into competition with Jasmine Crockett and AOC with the IQ test, which wasn't an IQ test, it was a cognitive test. I got to be honest with you. They should take the test, reveal their scores, because it's going to be 100, and then force Donald Trump into revealing his. Because if he got anything wrong on this test, we've got trouble, because we've got somebody who's has diminishing cognitive ability as president of the United States. And I think we can all agree on, based on what we've seen, that's clearly the case.
No, do I understand that he's claiming that he had this test at the same time he had the MRI, or around the same time?
That's the impression I got, but who knows with Donald Trump? He may be going back to the one he had 2 years ago.
Right.
I think it was around the time he had the MRI, but I don't know.
But that test is a test to basically see if you are thinking properly, if you can remember things. They usually start with what's your name, and do you know who the president is?
That's what I thought. That's a dementia
Things
test.
like that, yeah. It's not necessarily dementia. It's cognitive functioning to make sure that
Right.
it's working right. It could be given after a stroke. It could be given after any type of brain injury, or, a traumatic brain injury, anything that would diminish the capacity of your brain. And they're trying to get a base level as to where his brain is.
Yeah, it's just a test for them to see if he can still remember basic things, if he can still function like a basic human being.
Exactly. Can he identify basic animals? Can he repeat back basic words? Can he, does he still know the numbers and letters, the numbers and letters of the alphabet and things like that?
Yeah, and he said the first 4 or 5 questions were easy because they were like, what animal is this? And then it got harder and nobody could pass it but him.
Yeah, no, of course not.
I think RJ
Of
121,
course
that's
not.
Will, isn't it? I've said that. Yeah, I think he's had.
Yeah, that's Will.
I think I've said that he thinks he's had mini strokes, because there are times when he's very tired that the right side of his face droops. And usually if you've had some sort of a mild stroke or a mini stroke, You won't have those things there all the time, but when you get very tired, they start to set in. You start to see the face droop. You start to see the tired. The stuff that you're talking about he's doing over in Japan where he's wandering off, those things all start to come back. Because when the brain gets tired, it reverts back to where it was when those events happened, when the traumatic brain injury happened, or the strokes happened, or whatever's going on. Those things get worse.
Over and above the test, I think we can see what's going on with Donald Trump's mind when he's standing up and talking to somebody, and somebody asks a reasonably normal question a president should be able to answer, or at least bullshit his way through. And then he will constantly turn to Hegseth or some other cabinet member and say, well, I'll let you handle it. I'll let you handle it. And then recently, somebody asked a question about a guy he pardoned. It's that Chinese crypto guy from a company called Binance.
Yes.
And this guy is a true criminal. He was absolutely convicted. He's known for funding terrorist organizations, but Donald Trump pardoned him. Somebody asked him about that guy he pardoned, and Donald Trump had no clue what they were fucking talking about. And he had just done it the day before. So you would think if he was pardoning a big-time oligarch billionaire criminal, he would at least remember doing that, and apparently he didn't. So either he doesn't remember or he's not getting involved in half these decisions. It's the clowns around him that are just doing shit and not necessarily telling him.
Right.
They're either handing him stuff to sign or they're auto-penning it.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, he proved your point, right? It just hit me. So he's up here bragging about his IQ test and how hard
Yeah.
it is, right? And nobody could pass this thing, especially once you get past 5. Well,
Right.
sir, that's not an IQ, that's a cognitive test. Everything he does, you're right, he fucks it up. If he'd have just kept his big mouth shut, we wouldn't have been able to find that. But he's out here bragging about his, superiority, and it turns out to be that, can you tell the difference between a cat and a dog?
I'd like to introduce a new acronym, and it's TAFU, TAFU. Trump always fucks up. He always fucks up. Since he got into office, if he just left shit alone and kept his mouth shut, he wouldn't be nearly in as much trouble, neither would the country for that matter, if he just could shut his mouth, and the motherfucker can't.
Where can I order the tofu taco?
Tafu taco.
Amazon
Well-
next week.
Well, couldn't we? Here's just a suggestion. Maybe we should make it tofu. Trump overwhelmingly fucks up, and then it'll stick better because it's tofu.
You got a good point. Yeah, I thought about that too, and I couldn't put together how I could use O instead of A. Apparently, I didn't do as well on the Montreal cognitive test as I thought, because I should have been able to come up with that. Now, TJ's much younger than I am, so clearly you're a little sharper than I am. Thank you.
That also gives us a tofu taco. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Tofu taco.
Well, we've got a couple of known people that are anxious to get up here, so we're going to get them up. Here's the very demure C Temptation. Hey, C, how you doing?
Oh wow, I have to be listed as demure. How
Demure.
about the beautiful one?
Well, that goes without saying, but demure was kind of ironic, and I'm trying to be clever,
beautiful
and
would be
clearly that
sounds
didn't
like
work.
a little bit more positive, Mike. But good evening to you and the panel in the chat. Happy Tuesday or whatever the fuck.
Absolutely. Well, what's on your mind today? Clearly there's some stuff pissing you off because we're all pissed off.
No, not well. I got personal shit pissing me off, but that's another chapter. But on the positive note, I read today on Ground News that 25 states are suing Trump and the administration for discontinuing their SNAP benefits, and I'm like, oops. I'm like, that's a beautiful thing because he's always losing a lot of court cases.
Yeah, do you understand why he's suing them? is something I don't know that people realize. The shutdown shuts down
Right.
the SNAP benefits, and that's what
Right.
everybody's freaking out about.
Right.
However, there is a safety net that's been set up and has been there all along,
Right.
and it's basically an emergency fund that
Right.
when there is a shutdown, that money is used to fulfill what they need with the SNAP benefits.
Go.
Now, the Republicans love to tell us that it was the Democrats who shut the country down. Okay, let's say that's even true. It's bullshit, but let's just say that's true. The idea that Donald Trump and the Republicans won't use that emergency fund is there for the very reason of funding something like SNAP when there is an emergency situation. That is their choice. That's Donald Trump's choice. So the people who don't get SNAP in spite of the
see,
shutdown
let me
is because
explain this
Donald
to you,
Trump
Mike. Let me
doesn't
stop-
want him to get it.
With all due respect, Mike, let me stop you right there. Like I said, the ones that makes the final decision is Congress because they have control on what is called the power of the purse. So Donald Trump need to go somewhere and sit his sorry, pathetic ass down somewhere.
Well, that's true, but it's not true. I mean, there's a lot of things that Congress is supposed to do. They're supposed to have control over tariffs. They're supposed to have control over a lot of things. But the Republicans in the House of Representatives and the Senate have basically ceded power to Donald Trump. So while they're supposed to have the control and the power, they don't as long as Republicans are in control.
And that's why I've been telling a lot of people, as far as this important message in my previous videos, it is very important as registered voters. We need to get out there come November of next year and vote and get the living hell these Republicans the fuck up out of office. It's time. People are tired. People shouldn't have to suffer because of this level of idiocy that Trump has.
So, see,
It's not fair to
Temptation,
the American people.
I had a question for C Temptation also.
What's going on, team?
Hey, so Mike Johnson came out yesterday and he had a press conference and he said that the whole SNAP thing, he says that we have it wrong, right? I'm just a messenger on this one, by the way.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
blaming you. No, it's not like that. I
He,
don't feel
he
like
says
that.
that we have it wrong. He says that the SNAP, he said it's correct that there is a $7 billion surplus emergency fund for that.
Right.
But if they release that money for SNAP, then that will cut off the EBT benefits. So he says,
Mike Johnson need to go somewhere and sit his lying ass down somewhere.
I get it, but I just want to tell you what he said.
I
So
don't
he
give
said,
a fuck what he said, though. Mike Johnson needs to sit down somewhere. All of them eventually are going to go down. Every last one of them.
The problem with that comment is this, though, T. It's an emergency fund.
Exactly.
Why would we be pulling EBT and all of that out of an emergency fund all the time? There's another fund for EBT. This is just a bullshit response, a fucking gaslighting attempt by Mike Johnson. It's
you.
there for emergency purposes.
Thank
This
you.
is an emergency because people aren't getting their SNAP.
Right, that was my point.
I did make a video about that this afternoon, and I did state it was this because you have to think about the babies, the children, the women, the mothers. You have to think about the seniors. You have to think about the people with disabilities. It's not just about normal folk like us. What about those people in those categories? Thanksgiving is coming up next month. You think they don't have the right to have at least a decent Thanksgiving meal? Come on now. Mike Johnson need to go fuck himself.
He doesn't give a shit about them having a decent meal.
But they're the same thing though. SNAP and EBT.
They don't have to give a shit though, but hey, it's up to the American people. It's time to take back what's rightfully ours. Fuck Mike Johnson.
Well, part of this is that for some reason the Republicans are delusional. They think by taking away SNAP that Democrats will be blamed. I don't know if they're oblivious, delusional, or what, but that's not going to happen. They're in power. They are going to get the blame for this, and they are going to take a beating in the midterms. I almost get the sense, but it's getting kind of close, that there's some divisions in the Republican Party now. Some people are freaking out in the Republican Party and pushing back. And just knowing how Congress works, I wouldn't be surprised if on the 31st, this Friday, they said, all right, fuck it, we'll just do what we got to do. We'll give you 2 years, and then we'll deal with it later. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it because we're playing a game of chicken here. And the Republicans aren't used to this. They're used to the Democrats caving. It's too late for the Democrats to cave now. If they do that, it's going to be disastrous for them. So the Republicans are going to have to cave, and I'm hoping against hope that on the 31st, on Friday, at the last minute of the last day, they figure something out. But they got to get back in the fucking House of Representatives, too, and they're off all week, so who the fuck knows? Maybe they're just going to let it happen.
But you know, I'm gonna tell you this about Donald Trump. He's the type of motherfucker that he loves to flip the script and change the narrative because that's how he is. He's using psychology to manipulate people and to gain strength. I mean, he's been doing it for numbers of years, though. He likes to mind fuck people. And as American citizens, it's time for us to pull away from that and tell Donald Trump, go fuck yourself, sit down somewhere. We need to work on us to become better people, work on our happiness, work on our peace, because that motherfucker don't care. He only worried about is himself. We need to start worrying about ourselves. And that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. If I can. Okay. Let's see here.
While you're doing that, the sad thing is what Mike Johnson is not aware of or may not be aware of is EBT and SNAP are the same thing. It's just a matter of what they're called where. Okay,
Right.
They're the same thing. And him saying that, we're going to take away from EBT, they're the same thing. They're just named different things in different states, basically.
Yeah, he's just talking out his ass at this point.
Pretty
He's
much.
just saying whatever comes to mind and think people are stupid enough to understand that. All right, we've got somebody else coming up here. Mother Trucker. Now, Mother Trucker, I see your picture. You seem to be a younger woman. Let's just verify. As Mother Trucker, you're not Trucker T's mother. You're somebody entirely different.
Well, thank you for the compliment. I'm actually almost 50. So,
Oh, 50. I'm 65. You're young.
I have a question. I read somewhere that if we impeach and get him out of office, can we take the whole administration out? Like the
No.
and all that? No.
No, that's something somebody said and threw it out there. Well, because of this, no, that's not true. If he gets impeached, J.D. Vance becomes president. They can't get rid of everybody.
Okay.
They're gonna have to. They can impeach everybody. They could impeach the VP. They could impeach the cabinet, but those would be individual impeachments. It's not a sweeping impeachment if Donald Trump goes.
And so would we have to impeach Trump and then when that's done, then do Vance like domino effect or I don't know.
Well, go ahead, TJ.
Hold on a second. That is half true. I believe that if the president of the United States is impeached for treason, then the rest of the cabinet can be removed.
Okay.
That's what
That's the only way.
Article
Treason
2,
is the
Section 4.
only way.
Yes, yeah. That's what I couldn't remember where I read it and what all I read, but I was just like it gave me a little glimmer of hope for a second.
To impeach him for treason would be quite a doing, though. It's unlikely if they impeach him that they would try that because that may be the hard way to go. And at this point, they just want him the fuck out of there.
Right.
And let me just add, even if he was impeached, the MAGA people are definitely not going to fall in sync though with J.D. Vance because they hate that fool. He's an ass.
Yeah, people get worried about J.D. Vance. Well, he's worse than Donald Trump. No, he's not. He's weaker than Donald Trump. He doesn't have as much authority. He's not going to be able to accomplish anything. If he gets impeached after the midterms and the Democrats have control of the House and maybe the Senate, whoever's president won't be able to do anything anyway. It basically shuts down the presidency for 2 years. They can't accomplish anything.
Who do you think they'll try and put as the candidate for presidency for next term?
For MAGA, That's the problem. They got nobody. J.D. Vance won't be a likely candidate. He's pretty much destroyed now, and if he gets to be president, he'll fuck that up. There really is nobody to replace Donald Trump as the cult leader from MAGA, and I guess that's the point. When the cult leader is gone, sooner than later, I hope, it's going to cause a lot of problems with MAGA. They aren't going to be able to find somebody who's their new Lord and Savior. When the cult leader dies or goes away, the organization tends to break up. Now, they'll probably come back under some other identification, but cutting the head off the snake is the best thing because that throws everything into disarray.
So they'll kind of implode, and
That would be my guess. I mean, at this stage of the game, when I predicted Kamala Harris would win on November 5th, I guess I'm not the guy to make the predictions, but logic would tell you that if the leader, the only leader they love and they support regardless, if he's gone, they've got really nobody to look to. And J.D. Vance isn't even well liked amongst Republicans, let alone MAGA. So it isn't going to be J.D. Vance who's going to be the powerful leader.
Hey, Mike.
So in other words, the Trumpler fucks will be no more.
Well, I won't say they won't be no more. They'll still be around causing problems, but they will have very little power without Donald Trump leading them.
Yeah, because the only thing Donald Trump is doing right now is leading himself towards an early grave, and I'm gonna put it like that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. We're at that point when things are spiraling out of control, and MAGA's going right with them. We're seeing MAGA kind of divide anyway at this point. The Republicans dividing. The whole party is weaker than it was prior to the election, so that's a good sign.
well, it shocked me when Marjorie, whatever her name is, MDT, or whatever, when she came out and was like, again, like voicing her opinion on against the MAGA stuff. I don't know what it was. My whole brain was mush from trying to keep up with everything.
No problem. Just take your time.
But yeah, she was like, we need, this. Oh, I don't know. Like I said, when she came out and she spoke out against her party, and now they're attacking her. So I think they're kind of, yeah.
Yeah, Mother.
Well, they're kind of.
I was going to help
Go
Mother
ahead.
a little bit with that one. So I was going to say that. So you think about the last 10 years, right? The MAGA movement was strong, and Marjorie Taylor Greene was on the forefront. We could not stand her, right? I mean, she was out there.
Right.
His second term, it only took 9 months to lose her, right? So that shows you how much implosion they had. Yesterday, Donald Trump came out and said, now that the big, beautiful bill has passed, I don't need Congress anymore. I can do whatever the blank I want to do, right? And then the very next day, today, they voted down the tariffs in Brazil. So there is so much infighting in there. Me personally, and this is just my opinion, I would rather them implode on their own than impeach them, just because it's not going to last.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Well, Mother Trucker, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it immensely. Feel free to come on anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mother Trucker, not Trucker T's mother.
Oh, wow.
She's younger than Trucker. How old are you, Trucker T?
Tucker is 56 years old. So that's
I heard
56.
that.
And
he's my sister.
he was 50. All right, I'm pulling somebody else up here. And this is somebody I follow, and I like her account, and I love the name of her account. Blue Jean Baby Queen. And how are you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey there. Well, I got
Hey,
banned.
wow.
So this is backup account.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but y'all were talking about, and thanks for bringing me up, by the way. Hey, everybody. You guys were talking about SNAP and the USDA's, saying that they can or they can't, whatever. I don't know if you know this, but Josh Hawley, of all people, brought a bill to the Senate floor to keep SNAP benefits during the shutdown. on the 21st, and they sent it to committee.
Wow. Josh sounds like he's trying to save his life here because he sees what's
Uh-huh.
coming.
Yep. But so anybody saying, even if they wanted to keep the shutdown, even if they wanted to continue the way that they're going and figure everything else out, a Republican Senator, Josh Hawley, no less, it's a clean bill. It is a clean bill.
Wow.
Minerva lad, that question. Yeah, it's a clean bill. That's all it's called, is keep SNAP during the shutdown or something like that. And they sent it directly to committee.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Yep.
He had tears in his eyes, kind of talking about it. So you're
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yep. So, but
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to come up and say, because the USDA thing, there's a lot of back and forth. It specifically says during emergencies or during like a disaster, like a FEMA type disaster. But you saw that there were like, I think 25 attorneys general that are trying to sue to get them to release those funds.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty amazing. But by the way,
Yeah.
Blue Jean Baby Queen, two things. Does
Mm-hmm.
anybody on the panel know where the term Blue Jean Baby Queen came from? And I'd be surprised. I think maybe only she and I know this. Maybe Oliver's mom knows this.
The song.
No, nobody knows?
Is it a song?
It's a song.
It's from a song. It's a song. Great song.
Yeah.
Not a huge
David
hit
Essex.
song, but a song. David Essex, Rock On.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Great. When I saw that, I go, that's a fucking awesome name. And then I watched her stuff and I go, wow, I like this girl. She's
thank you.
she's normal. What did you do to get kicked off?
I really don't know. I had no community guideline violations. I had no strikes. I had no warnings. I had no nothing. Yesterday, I popped on because I was getting loaded with comments, and I hopped on. It just said your account is banned, and I went, "Excuse me, huh? What now?"
Now,
So
now, could you appeal it?
appealed it. They've already come back once and told me no. But I'm working with somebody to try and help me get it back. They said that I've got 4 attempts. The thing that they told me today was this is insane, but they said violence and criminal activity. I have
Oh,
no idea what they're talking about.
Blue Jean Baby.
Well,
What are you doing
here's
over
the
there?
here's are you Blue Jean? I don't know your real name, but I'll call you Blue. Blue, are you working with Aaron?
Yeah,
Is that who's helping you out? Aaron, trying to get your
Aaron, go live.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that he'll do a good job. Go live, go live,
Go live
Vegas. Yeah, I use them, but here's the thing, Blue. You probably watch my account, right?
Long time.
Who's more obnoxious and in your face, me or you?
I don't know. I can be pretty obnoxious.
You can be, but you
I
don't
try
get
to
too many
keep it clean.
motherfuckers.
No,
Well, yeah, and
I
I
try to
don't.
keep it clean.
Let me give you a tip on your new account or when you get your old account back. The trick to it is, I thought when they changed the guidelines that I'd be kicked out sure as hell. I have not got one guideline thing and no problems at all. Probably less problems now than I had before. And the key is when you go into your posts, go through your comments, and every Trumplefuck you see jump up, block them immediately because they can't take you down if they can't see you.
Yeah, I think that may have been what got me, because I did not post anything that was violent or criminal, but in my very small town, they popped up a CK sign, and I was commenting on that. But really, all I was commenting on was about how the county that I live in is very, very small. There's 46,000 people in my county, and 21,000 of those people are unemployed, and that's it. And so on the sign, they were pushing for get married and have babies. While this county is the small amount that it has, 16% of children that live in this county are in poverty. So that's what I was making the post about. So, but I'm sure that since it was, CK related, I'm thinking that that's what did it. Now, and some of the comments were getting a little out of hand, and I was trying to delete them because I wasn't one of those that was, jumping up and down. That's not how I roll. But thinking that maybe the comments got me. I don't know. I really don't.
I have a guy in the comments right now. When I said I blocked all the Trump-lefucks, Jim Griffo, 90 followers. He's following 15 people. Sounds like you're scared of him. No, motherfucker, and you're blocked too. So fuck you. It's just tiring dealing with these dipshits. Normally, TJ and Rebecca are blocking people through the whole live, but occasionally I'll see one and I'll take some great joy in blocking those pieces of shit. And Rebecca says she blocked him already.
Yeah, and I was getting ready to block him right before you said that. So
We get them.
Well, Blue, thank you very much. I'm glad you're back on the second account. If you can get back on, Aaron will be able to do it, and he's done miracles. I think he got Hawk back on. And
He did. That's
some
how
other
I heard
people.
about him. Yep. Hawk.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, and I appreciate you letting me up. I wanted to let you know about that Josh Hawley bill because that one blew my mind. I could, of all people, and they sent it to
Yeah.
committee. So that's a big one.
That is. Thank you very much. Come back anytime. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, sir. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Don't call me sir. I'm not a sir. I'm a dipshit is what I am. Well, speaking of dipshits, I've got somebody else coming up here. We haven't heard from in a while. Jay of the Canadian Way. And Jay, how you doing?
Well, to start off, I just wanted to apologize for my absence. I have two.
Were you
quizzes.
gone?
Yes, I
Were
was.
you gone? Oh, okay.
I
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have two quizzes this week back to back. I had one today. I've got another one tomorrow. It's midterm season here at the SRJC, Santa Rosa Junior College. That's where I'm at school. And I also lost a loved one very recently, like last week.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Our condolences.
If nothing else, I don't respond to things that make me unhappy by getting sad anymore. Now I just get more and more mad. Because the more things like this happen, the more I'm convinced that, I don't actually think this is true. This is just what I picture in my head. There's a little man behind the scenes of reality pulling all the levers and tugging all the strings, just fucking with people for kicks. And it just boils my kettle to think about that.
Yeah, I've often said that about, the higher power. He created man, and then he thought, well, let's take another species, women, and make them think 180 degrees totally different. That should be entertaining. And I get the same sense. I think people behind the scenes are getting a good laugh at some of the bullshit going on in this country.
Yeah. First off, speaking of obnoxious, I mean, those of you who've seen me on the podcast, you already know where my time on the thing usually goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did want to, with, who is it, Blue, who's just on?
Blue Jean Baby Queen. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with the CK sign saying "get married, have kids." There's a phrase that's used to describe what the thing prompting that sign to go up is called, and it goes like this: "The wolves are mad that the sheep are not breeding."
Oh,
that's how that goes. Okay. And literally, that's what it is.
Yeah, that makes some sense. I'm getting a little bit of a echo.
Is it an echo? Is there something wrong with my
Well,
mic?
if I was in radio, I'd tell you to turn your radio down.
All right.
Do you have a Bluetooth?
No, I don't have any Bluetooth in.
Jay, put in headphones.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Hang on, I'll plug mine in.
All right. I'm going to pull somebody.
My phone doesn't have a headphone jack. Never mind.
Use Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah.
I'd use them if I had them, but the last one that I had Bluetooth headphones for a while, but as Jace might say, they done got broked.
Okay, well then turn your volume down to half.
Is that better?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah, it's a little better. You stick with us, Jay. I'm going to pull somebody else up because I want to get as many people on as we can. You know what? When you're not talking, mute yourself. Otherwise, it's going to become annoying.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. All right. Now we're bringing up Tavari. Let's see. Hey, Tavari, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, how are you, Rational Boomer? I remember
I'm
talking
doing
to you
great.
guys a while back. I'm the one from the Navajo Reservation, just north of Holbrook.
Where I worked there for
Yes.
a year.
Yeah, and I remember
I know the
talking to
area
you
very
guys
well.
about the Indian Health Services at the time.
Yeah.
Well, a new thing kind of just hit, and I guess for me, it's kind of hitting closer for the job I have now. I currently work with the public schools in the state of Arizona. And for us, our Navajo Reservation, a lot of our public schools revolve around that national impact aid,
Yeah.
where they collect the taxes, of course. And so it's starting to hit hard here now, where we've only gotten, I believe, I'm gonna say half or not even half, but I mean we're in the millions now. Like and a newspaper came out a while back, maybe about 3 weeks ago, about how our schools are going to be impacted by that federal aid, and we're not going to be able to collect anything. So at this point, we're not technically scrambling yet, but I think our spending for our educational system is very minimal. We're really combing everything that comes in, making sure, hey, this is what we have. But most of that federal impact aid, because we're on the reservation, of course, and most of our salary comes from that impact aid. And nobody was really talking about it until a family member of mine asked me if I had seen the paper that came out in the Republic of the Arizona Republic. And I was kind of confused, but I went and read into it, found out that, that impact aid wasn't really coming in. And it doesn't only revolve around my school. I know there's like military bases, as well as other areas that are going to be impacted. And I know it revolves around a lot of the shutdown as well. So it's kind of something that really, I know you guys, I think I'm friends with you and Trucker now. So I'm like kind of talking about that.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring that up because I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen to us? And I'm not trying to push you guys aside, but of course we're Native Americans here, and we're 100% or about 88% Native American on our reservation. And so we're in the middle of the reservation, and I don't know what's going to happen as far as, how this is going to really impact our educational system with our schools. And of course, half of them are public schools, and the other half are boarding schools, which are the Indian boarding schools through the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs side of it. And so I know we're going to be impacted. It's slowly coming for us, and we're just kind of at this point where, just save up, do what you can. And of course, with the reservation, there isn't much jobs either. So that whole SNAP, WIC, all that, not coming in for the month of November, it's going to be hard. So I wanted to bring
Is
that
it
up.
going to be devastating?
I
mean,
think
it's
it is. I really truly think it is, because the reservation, especially where I'm at, I'm in the middle. And Chinling, you remember last time I was talking to you, I think I told you we were from Chinling. But
I remember Chinle.
I mean, we're any which way you go, 2.5 hours. Like I always say, there's Walmart 2.5 hours any direction you turn. So there isn't much jobs for us, and of course, right now everybody's getting laid off, and our Indian Health Services right now are currently being impacted because I believe them on shutdown as well. They only have so much money that they kind of had left over to pay the employees, but come November, I know that's going to impact them as well, because they're not going to get paid right now. They're getting paid, but it's going to run out soon if nothing comes about by November. It's what I remember being told by a fellow whatever you call him, coworker, and she was like, "Oh, we're fine. Things will happen." But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, "No, he's got so many things up his sleeve. Everything's a scam." At this point, everything's a scam with Trump, and I'm just completely like, "God, this is going to hit hard."
Now, Tavari, I had another question regarding Native American folks and the reservations. This may not be something you know anything about, but I wanted to bring it up. There is talk that the Native American or First Nation folks are kind of getting together with their reservations and trying to work a channel, because they're sovereign nations, work a channel of bringing in imports from Canada through the reservations into the United States that would be tariff-free because, again, they're sovereign nations. Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard a couple of things about that. There has been talks about it. I remember there's a guy on TikTok, and I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but he's an attorney or something from Oklahoma. He talks a lot about the things that are going on as far as on his understanding with the law. And I do remember him talking specifically about something like that, about coming together and doing that. But with the way Trump's overdone the natives in the East with their casinos, I wouldn't doubt that, they're going to try to figure out something to kind of cut that off as well.
Yeah, I would suppose you're right. If it can be fucked up, Donald Trump will find a way. That goes without question. So did you live on the reservation north of Holbrook?
Yes, I am in Chinle.
Okay, you are in Chinle. That's a pretty good drive from Holbrook, though, isn't it? It's
it's about 2.5 hours, I would say. And we're pretty much really remote out this way.
Got a dumb question for you. I had occasion when I worked in Holbrook to go to Chinle and Tuba City and some of the other towns on the reservation. We would do football games, and I'd go up there and do the football games and such. But when I went up there, what I noticed about it as a guy from an urban part of Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, it was really kind of shocking to me because I'd never seen anything like this. But it's a very sparsely populated area. The schools I went to were absolutely beautiful. But there were people back in 1980 that were on the reservation that were still living in something called hogans, which was kind of a mud hut or something. Is that still the case today? Or has that gone away by the wayside?
No, they're still... I think you're talking about the hogans that are created with mud. That still exists. Right. Some people still make them. It just really depends. There's several different types of hogans, but randomly you'll see them. I think now everybody's kind of more modern. They build the hogans with wood and everything else. And, of course, that's costing you a lot more money now. You could build a hogan with like $10,000 if you just bought the cheaper material, and it would work. And I think mud is really easy. It's really good when you kind of dampen it, making it the clay mud and putting that on the wood. It usually helps with like insulation as well as during the summertime. It's usually cool inside as well. So there's some available like around, but it's just very seldom.
Well, and again, it was 1980, so we're talking 45 years ago, probably well before you were born. So things change in 45 years, apparently. But
agreed.
It's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful area.
Definitely. The good thing is I know we have a lot of border towns around the reservation. We're one of the largest Native American reservations. I see someone saying about the whole ICE thing. I've not directly seen ICE around yet. I'll say yet because I don't know if it's coming or not. But I do have my own small business, and I have some of my employees who work. I've already had at least 2 of them taken, even though one of them, I think both of them had green cards, and one of them is already back in Honduras, and our subcontractors are kind of like hurting. So I've heard things like that before, and of course, like I said, 2 of my guys are gone. So, wow,
that's all kinds of fucked up, Tavar. Excuse the language, but you expect that out of me if you've listened to me before. I tend to cuss now and again. Tavari, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Come back anytime. Keep us abreast of what's happening with your folks in that area of the country, because it's all pretty scary for a lot of folks. But you would think the reservations would be left alone given who populates the reservations. But apparently Donald Trump and the rest of the Republican dumb fucks don't get it.
Agreed. And I don't know about that birthright citizenship they're trying to change as well, because that would apply to us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Tavari, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, Tavari from Chinle, Arizona. I have actually been there.
Can I
Go ahead.
say something to Trucker really quick?
Yeah.
Trucker, this is kind of a thing from me to you. This is how you you know that I'll always be an ally, always be, here on your side, on Will's side, everyone else's. Was my first thought when I saw those poor guys who got I don't even know if I can say the word without TikTok getting after me, but whatever. Who got, the L word on them down in Mississippi. My first thought was not, apathy or just another day in the whatever. My first thought was, oh, it's on. When it came to the Trump-la-fucks. That's why I get a lot more like inflammatory with them, and why I'm like, we got to come down on them with a hammer when all this is over. It's because it's like, no, you made this personal. You've taken this up to a point where when we get the playing field back, we're taking all the coins away from you.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with that is, you said the right word, and it's Mississippi. And they don't care who it is. It was a couple African Americans, and I believe one of them was a Caucasian male. So,
right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So if you don't agree with their politics down in Mississippi, then hey, So yeah, and I can't say much more than that because
Because we'll get cut off. Absolutely. In the idea of bringing more people on, I've got somebody else here I'm going to grab and talk to. Her name is Nancy, assuming she's popping up. Not seeing it yet. Let's see here. Maybe I missed it.
I will say though, Jay, I know you've been gone for a while, and condolences to your family.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But we haven't forgotten about you. One person in particular.
I didn't think you had, and
No. I think we even met your dad on the last live.
Well, and I think you'll be relieved to know that British John is not in the queue. I don't know. He's probably got something else going on, and
probably off screwing my mom again.
Well, thanks for that. Okay, next up we've got Kevin.
If no
Kevin,
one else
how
will
are you
say
doing?
it, I will.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
Mike.
did. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Hey, Mike.
What's up?
Hey, man. Enjoying the show. Likewise, all the time. Hey, guys.
Thank you.
How everybody doing this evening? I just want to express, we all sit here and think about a way that we can come out of this situation with Donald Trump. And we know that Donald Trump is backed by money and backed by billionaires and millionaires. And I know that the country is suffering right now. There's a lot of people that's out of work, out of food. But I think we got to take the hit, man. And we got to hang in there. And we just got to cut off the pipeline of feeding the billionaires the money that we earn and we spend. And I think if we stop spending, then they don't make any money. And then
So are you thinking about the general strike thing? Is that what you're thinking?
Correct. We force them into giving in to, these policies that they have, because if they're not making any money, then, hey, we come out of this.
No, I agree, and we saw it work with Disney and Jimmy Kimmel. It worked very quickly. I'm worried about the concept that they have where they're going to have this general strike for a week. Nobody goes to work, nobody buys anything, nobody does anything. And granted, if we could pull that off, it would be devastating to those wealthy folks, and it would send a message. I just don't know if you can get enough people to do it for that period of time. I'm wondering if instead of that, maybe we kind of focus on certain things and take them out one by one. It would be easier to do, and it could still be as devastating.
Yeah, I understand. You're right about that. I think a week is not long enough, unfortunately. And, myself, I work in this country. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and I've seen the effect of this area already. and I know people are suffering. And I remember Trump even saying that, there's going to be a tough time. We just got to bear with it. And I think we do have to bear with tough time, but I think we need to take it a little bit further, and we need to hurt their pockets.
I agree. It's just a matter of can we get enough people to do it to actually have that impact. I mean, we can because we saw it with Disney, but and when you said I think we need to take the hit, I think I misread what you were saying. You were talking about the general strike, and what I thought about when you said that was we're going to go through a ton of shit. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be painful, and I've said all along that after all that's happened, it seems like we have to have this ultimate disaster for some of these fucks to actually wake up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And more importantly, we have to stick together and help one another as true Americans. And we've done
Absolutely.
that. And we've done that. And we can do it again.
I just
Yeah,
wanna- the idea with a general strike where everybody doesn't go to work and doesn't buy things for a week or however long is really going to be hard because there are so many people out there right now living week to week, paycheck to paycheck, that they can't
Right.
afford to be off work for a week. They can't afford to risk losing their job.
I'd lose customers and ultimately probably diminish my company if I didn't work. There's no way I can't work.
Yeah, well, we would have to come up with a different way
Well-
as a country, as a group, to do that without endangering the livelihoods of people who just can't afford it. There's too many people out there that live month to month, week to week, that can't do something like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe if instead of doing nothing for a whole week, let's do what we did with Disney. We were focused on Disney. We took them down in about 72 hours and got what we wanted out of it. What if instead of doing a general strike, we say, okay, fuck Amazon for the next 3 days. We'll see how they like that and see what kind of message that sends. And then maybe Walmart and then whoever, It would be easier to do. It would be less, like Rebecca said, people got to feed their families and stuff. And if you walk out of your job for a week, theoretically, you get fired.
Exactly.
So you can't really
did
do
you
that.
Well,
that would actually produce a particular problem for Kim and I because Kim and I are union members. So
Yeah.
Kim and I both have to work under a collective bargaining agreement. And my collective bargaining agreement, and I'm going to imagine that Kim's is the same as mine, is that there's a clause in there that says no strike, no lockout. So if there's no just cause for a strike or no just cause for a lockout, if you don't show up for work, you're actually violating the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So they could nullify a union contract by union workers not showing up to work for not just cause.
Right,
Well,
right.
Sorry,
Absolutely.
earlier, did you say fuck Amazon for the next 3 days?
Yeah.
Can I at least take it out to dinner first?
Yeah, okay. I told you I do the jokes here, motherfucker.
my suggestion, Mike,
You beat British onto it.
my suggestion is to affect the dollar that supports all of the Trump policies. Affect,
Yeah.
affect those who support that. The people who funnel in money to support Donald Trump and the things he's doing, those are the companies that we should be not spending our dollar with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that would make sense.
Yes, when this whole thing started, there were all kinds of things on TikTok where people were saying, going this week, we're going to not support this particular company, and we're going to, then we're going to move on to this particular company for a week, and I don't see that anymore.
Kim, you're muffled.
I guess we need to get
Yeah.
back to that.
Yeah. I think we could start with the list of people who donated to that ballroom. We could start and go one by one down that list and show them how displeased we are with that bullshit. We're getting toward the end, so I'm going to pull one more person up, and it's not the person you think because he's not here. But I'm pull one more person
Thank
up.
God.
We'll go a little bit, and we'll wrap things up after that. But who I'm pulling up is a young woman named Sunny Cakes. Sunny Cakes, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Yep.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks for pulling me up and good evening to everyone. Um, I think, in my opinion, we need to do something a little bit more dramatic. This sends
Okay.
a sound and clear message across, it vibrates across the world that there's a separation in the United States. I think we should succeed from the Union, especially New York, Illinois, and California. Succeed first, and then all the other supporting states. Just come out of the Union.
Well, they are talking about a soft secession, not an actual secession from the country, but a soft secession would be the blue states saying, okay, we're not sending your federal taxes anymore. We're keeping them here since you're cutting everything, and we'll take care of ourselves. That could have a significant impact on things too.
We're talking about a soft succession now.
Well, there are AGs from several blue states that are talking about it. Yeah. And it doesn't mean we secede from the union. It just means the blue states quit paying the money in so they can keep the red states afloat.
If you're
Oh,
talking
the
actual
blue states stopped paying
secession, we
federal
fought a
taxes.
whole war over that, and it didn't really go very well for the people who tried to secede.
No, it didn't.
Well, yeah, an actual secession. No.
Well, if California keep their federal dollars, that hurt probably 1/3 of the country because they put in a lot of federal money coming from California alone.
Yeah, the giver states need to all back their money.
The thing is, we almost don't have to do that because if the Republicans continue the way they're going and the SNAP funding is stopped, I read a data point that said 80% of people getting SNAP are in red states. So you're going to find red states fucking freaking the fuck out at this point.
Yeah, because those red states, they're not going to supplement that funding, especially if they're not getting paid back.
They
for it.
can't. They don't have the money.
Right. Yep.
I mean, I know Minnesota, where I'm at, they are going to help supplement some things so people won't be left out in the cold. But red states, they're broke as shit. They got to wait till the blue states send the money into the federal government so they can get their funding. And that's the main mistake by Republicans. They think, well, Donald Trump said, we're going to end all these democratic programs like SNAP.
What is a
What he fails
democratic
to understand.
program?
Well, like SNAP, that's what he calls a democratic program because it's liberal. What he fails to understand is that it impacts a vast majority of the Republicans too. He thinks it's because it's a social safety net that it's only Democrats that it affects, and he's a dumb fuck, so he doesn't know.
Well, they're talking about how it it's the immigrants that are getting those benefits, right? Isn't it the immigrants?
Which is absolute bullshit. Sonny, where do you live? What part of the country do you live in?
Illinois.
You live in L.A.? Okay,
No,
so you're in a
Illinois.
little.
She said Illinois.
Oh, Illinois. Well, see, L.A., Illinois, you're in at least a blue state where
Correct.
you're going to be more safe. Do you live near the Chicago area?
No, I'm closer to Southern Illinois, like 20 minutes from St. Louis.
Okay, so that's a pretty red territory, I'm guessing.
Correct. It's very red.
How fun is that? How fun
Not
is living
fun.
in red Illinois? I can imagine. Have you seen, is ICE only in the Chicago area or are they throughout the state?
I'm assuming they're only in Chicago area. It's really rural down here. This little town that I live in, and I got a cornfield right behind my backyard, so it's not much going on in this area.
Well, if you need corn, you probably get it cheap these days, given what Donald Trump's done with the tariffs. Yeah, it's being in a rural area. Do you sense a different tone amongst those people that would normally support Trump? Is there a vibe change down there with those people who voted for Trump? Are they feeling it yet?
That's been going on for a couple of years, though. I mean, with the stickers and the flags and just the sentiment and the tone has definitely changed. But, I just kind of stick to myself. I know that most of my neighbors are a little bit on the our side, but I don't really mess with them. It's not that many black people. So I
Well,
knew I wasn't
yeah.
welcome when I got here.
As a young woman of color, I'm guessing you don't get invited to the quilting bees or anything like that, huh?
Right. I think they felt a kind of way when I bought the biggest house on the block. I think they felt a way about that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm going to wrap things up here because if I only go if I go so long, it screws everything up, and I risk getting taken down. And since I've gotten this far without getting taken down, I'm going to get while the getting's good. So, Sonny, thank you for coming on. Join us again when we do a live, please.
Thank you for joining me. Yes, please.
TJ, Rebecca, Trucker T, C Temptation, Jay, Kevin, Oliver, and everybody else that joined us, Blue Jean Baby Queen, all of you that joined us, thank you for participating, and all the people in the comments as well. That's what makes the show interesting, when other people participate. For those of you listening, go ahead, Jay. I knew it. I just knew it.
Sorry, I just got this just in from Trevor, who's another friend of ours. TikTok took him down, so his backup account is on there somewhere. I'll try and put the link in on the next live or something.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. I think his name is now Geralto Rivera. So follow Trevor at Geralto Rivera now.
I think it's Geralt of Rivera, yeah.
Yeah, Geralt of Rivera. Okay. All right.
Mike, can I also say something too, please?
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to say for everybody in the panel and, well, y'all familiar with me, and then in the chat, make sure you follow me on YouTube, The Political Discussion. I mean, I have a lot of skits up there, and some of them are pretty funny, and then ever since then, I've been doing that. My channel's been blowing up.
Yeah, absolutely. Check See Temptation out. For all of you listening, thank you for taking the time. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.